I feel like
Yeah,
she would say yes.
well, she might. If not, I'd go drag her down and make her sing anyhow.
You're a living legend, and on this album, you're tackling some of the most famous songs ever recorded. Now, did you have any apprehensions at all about taking on other iconic songs?
Well, I wanted to choose songs that I thought would fit my voice. I knew I didn't want to scream my lungs out, although I wound up doing it a lot. But within the songs that I really loved, I really had a chance to really expand and really try some new things that I normally would not. In my country songs, but singing rock songs, I thought, wow, I wonder if I can hit that note. I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if I can go there. So it was really great, doing that. But I'm not afraid to try things. So I thought, well, I'll just pick songs that I think I can do well, and songs that I really like. I wanted to choose songs that actually said something too, that had a good message. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite stories on the album, Joan Jett, who I love, she's one of the original great rockers, girls. And so asked her, I said, well, I want you to sing with me on I Love Rock and Roll. She said, oh, Dolly, let's don't do that one. Everybody does that one. You need to sing one that's got a little more meat and a little more story, a little more heart. So we did, I Hate Myself for Loving You. So she was really good, kind of helped me along to say, no, you're Dolly. You're used to singing serious songs. So let's not just do I Love Rock and Roll,
Yeah.
because everybody, so which I thought that was cute. So I had one of the things I love most about the record that I got to know some of these people and like them and got to spend enough time to think, wow, that's cool. And so Joan will always be a favorite of mine because she was so generous and open with me on stuff.
And it was a real collaboration, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I talked to all these people. I didn't want to hit on them because I hate to ask people to do anything. I hadn't planned to have all these artists on. I was recording this album on my own, and it was right in the middle, of it. And I was thinking, wow, wouldn't it be so cool if so and so was to sing with me on it? And I went through managers and sent them all a little love note, sort of, and saying, hey, I've done a rock album and love to have you join me, and don't feel pressure if you can. So that's kind of how it went. And so they all came back and said, yeah, we'd love to. And the ones that I didn't get are the ones that were our schedules we couldn't work it out. They were either on tour or in the middle of an album of their own. Anyway, it was good to know that they all wanted to do it.
Yeah, when Dolly calls, you answer.
I don't know about that, but I didn't want to put them on the spot.
Of course.
I gave them an
Now, one of the songs on this album is Stairway to Heaven, a rock classic. I heard you recorded a bluegrass version years ago that your very straightforward husband, Carl, said sounded more like Stairway to Hell. So what does he think of your new version of the record?
Well, actually, he liked the one I did. Well, he still didn't think he loves that song and he loved Led Zeppelin. He didn't think anybody should ever record that song but Led Zeppelin. So back in the day, when I said I was going to record it long ago as a cover and kind of a bluegrass country version, he said, don't do that song. That's a damn classic. You don't want to do that one, and so I did it. He didn't particularly, that's when he said, is that Stairway to Hell or Stairway to Heaven? So I thought, well, I've got to give it its just dues now, if for no other reason but for Carl. So I did it again in this album, was true to form, true to the melody, all that. And so he liked it.
Good. What do you think about the rest of the album?
Well, actually, I think he was impressed. I played all these songs. I said, I'm going to play these songs. And I said, there's 30 of them. He said, 30? And I said, yeah, 30. So we'll listen to 15 and then we'll take a break and listen to the other. So anyway, he stayed pretty quiet. And then when it was all over, he said, well, that's pretty good. So for him to say that, I knew he meant that it was good. So that meant a lot to me. I wanted especially Carl to be proud, but I also wanted especially the people that had recorded these songs originally or that had written them. I wanted them to be proud of it. I wanted to do my best.
Of course. Well, it's almost a crime that Carl is so private because he just seems like a real hoot.
Oh,
um,
yeah. Well, this spring we'll have been, well, this early summer, in May, we'll have been together 60 years, so we know each other pretty good.
Pretty good, I'd say. Well, Miley's also on the album, and I think fans really love seeing you both collab since the Hannah Montana days. Now you duet on Wrecking Ball. Is it safe to say that's your favorite Miley track?
Well, I love Miley and I love that song. So that is definitely way, way up there at the top of anything on this record because of both of those reasons that we said. Because I think we sound really good together. I
Mhm.
love how we sound. We just kind of know where the other is going to go. We're that close, and she's grown up with my music, and I know how she sounds now too. So I just love that song, and I thought, well, that'd be great to incorporate a little bit of "I Will Always Love You" into that as well, like we had done on her New Year's show last year in Miami. We did some of "I Will Always Love You" and "Wrecking Ball," and I thought, well, we'll incorporate a little bit of that. But yeah, that's a real highlight for me on the album because of Molly.
Well, I'm so happy as a fan that you did that because I watched that special and I thought to myself, I need this in my life on repeat. And now you're giving it to the fans. So thank you for that.
Well, you are welcome.
Well, did you know that there's an online conspiracy theory that you are the real life Hannah Montana? You know, the whole living a double life where you put on a blonde wig to be a music superstar while keeping your personal life super private. Do you see the similarities there?
I didn't see that, but who knows? It could be true.
You could be. You could be.
Well, thank you.
Could you see yourself after doing this record? Could you see yourself exploring other genres? I know you wanted to work with Lionel. Maybe a Dolly Parton R&B duets album could be next.
Well, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to do a lot of that stuff, but I've often thought I'd like to do, like maybe some R&B or some classics too. But I don't know. I think I'm working on, as I mentioned a couple of times during these interviews, the thing I'm working on next is my life story as a Broadway musical. So
Wow.
probably my next album might be the cast album, but I will be singing songs with other people. I've recorded several songs in the gospel field and in the country field with other artists. And if any of these if I did okay on this rock album, maybe some of these rock artists might say, hey, won't you come sing with me on my next album? So I could picture myself doing something like that.
Absolutely.
But
Well,
I don't have an album planned at the moment.
if you do come around to an R&B album, may I request that you and Beyonce give us that long-awaited Jolene cover?
Oh, that would be great. I might do it just for that reason.
Right? And
I
I
love her.
feel
Yeah,
like
I
she would
love
say yes.
Well, she might, yeah. If not, I'd go drag her down and make her sing anyhow. You get down here and sing with me, girl.
Well, I have to say, with all of this and you exploring all these different classics, what's Dolly listening to right now? Is there anybody new that you're listening to that you're really impressed by?
Not really. I have to honestly say, I just stay so busy with so many things. I'll hear a record now and then, and then I'll think, wow, well, that's really special. Or that's really good. Or my nieces will be playing something in the car and all that. But for myself, I'm just out here trying to make a living.
Listen, and you are living and you are iconic and a true legend. So thank you for taking time to talk to me. This is one for my bucket list. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad you liked the album. And I hope you'll keep listening to it when you're putting your makeup on in the mornings.
Don't you worry. I absolutely will.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.